Hello everyone. In our previous videos, we explored European and American structuralism, where linguists were primarily concerned with describing and classifying the structural features of language. They analyzed sounds, words, and sentence patterns through observable linguistic data. However, by the middle of the 20th century, that is during 1950s, many linguists began to ask a different question. Is describing language enough? How are human beings able to produce and understand an infinite number of sentences, many of which they have never heard before? These questions marked a major turning point in linguistics and led to the rise of formal linguistics, an approach that attempts to explain language through systematic rules. One of the most influential developments within formal linguistics is generative grammar, proposed by Noam Chomsky, who was a student of Zelig Harris and was trained in structuralist tradition. Yet he was dissatisfied with the Bloomfieldian structuralists, as the emphasis was more on mere description and observable speech data. According to Chomsky, linguistics should not simply describe language, it should explain the underlying mental system that makes language possible. So his main ideas were that grammar should explain how speakers produce and understand sentences, and the linguists should discover a general theory of grammar. Native speakers' intuition is important, according to him. For example, an English speaker immediately knows that a particular sentence, such as the boy is playing, is grammatically correct, while the sentence boy the playing is ungrammatical, even without studying the grammar properly or formally. As the intuition of the speaker is taken into account. There is a thing called intuition, according to him, which is innate. He talked about well-formedness, that is, he distinguished between well-formedness and acceptability. Like a sentence follows grammatical rules, but it has no meaning. That's why it's not acceptable. For example, colorless green ideas sleep furiously. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's not acceptable, as this sentence is not meaningful, though it's grammatically correct. Now, the discovery procedure and the IC analysis of American structuralism failed to tell anything about the countless possible utterances of a sentence and the relationship between the active and passive voice. Now, these flaws in the structuralist approach brought a shift in methodology and orientation in linguistic theory, which has been referred to as generative grammar. Chomsky introduced generative grammar in his book Syntactic Structure, which was published in 1957. According to him, generative grammar is a system of rules that can generate an unlimited number of sentences from a finite set of rules. That is, a speaker can produce completely new sentences never heard before. For example, the child opened the window. We can extend it to the child opened the window because the room was hot. Now, these sentences can be generated using grammatical rules. This generation of sentences using grammatical rules is called generative grammar. The principal goals of generative grammar are to discover universal features that is common to all human languages, and it also explains, that is, competence and performance of the speaker. Now the competence means the native speaker's internal knowledge of language. You know automatically that she sings beautifully is correct, while she beautifully sings may sound unnatural. Now the ideal speaker's knowledge of language is competence. To understand the true nature of language, we should study competence because it reflects the speaker's internal grammar. While the performance which he talked about is the actual use of language in real situations. You may know correct sentence but accidentally say I mean I'm going. Your competence may be correct, but your performance contains mistakes because performance may be affected by memory limitations, nervousness, distractions, fatigue, and slips of tongue. Now here there is when we talk about competence and performance, we just remember the Lang and Perol, which was given by Ferdinand de Saussure. But there is a major difference in both of them. That is, while competence talks about innate nature of the mind, the psychology, while the Lang gives the social rules shared by the community. That is the major difference here. Now we will talk about the difference between the generativists and structuralists or Bloomfieldians. Generativists study mental knowledge of language, or you can say explores human creativity, while Bloomfieldians study observable speech. Generativists explain and give importance to the meaning of the language, while description is important for Bloomfieldians. Language is creative for generativists, while language is a system of habits and mechanical for Bloomfieldians. Language depends on intuition of native speakers for generativists, while language depends on corpus. That is the discovery procedure which we studied in the earlier video. Now we will come to phrase structure grammar. Chomsky proposed phrase structure rules. For example, a sentence contains NP plus VP, that is noun phrase plus verb phrase. If you take the sentence, the man hit the ball. Here, the is the article, man is the noun, hit is verb, and the is article again, and ball is the noun. The man is when you combine the article and the noun, it is a noun phrase. The man is noun phrase. Hit is verb and the ball is again noun phrase. So sentence is equal to noun phrase plus verb phrase. Noun phrase is equal to article plus noun, and verb phrase is equal to verb plus noun phrase. Now, limitations of phrase structure grammar. Phrase structure grammar cannot explain active and passive relationship. Mary sees George. George is seen by Mary. Again, next type of sentences like interrogative or questions. John is coming. Is John coming? Next, I told him. I did tell him. Emphasis. Therefore, Chomsky introduced transformational rules because it cannot explain the interrogative, the active and passive relationships in all type of like questions, emphasis and all. Now we will talk about transformational generative grammar. That is, transformation changes one sentences into another. That is, as we discussed before, active and passive. John saw Jill. Jill was seen by John. So this is a transformative change without changing the meaning. Now we will talk about the types of transformation. We have simple and generalized. For example, simple sentence can be changed into a negative sentence, auxiliary transformations can take place. Now generalized combines simple sentences into complex ones. For example, John thinks Bill is one sentence. And John thinks is one sentence, Bill will leave is another sentence. When you combine both of them, it is an embedded sentence or a complex sentence. So this is generalized sentence. While simple sentence, normal simple sentence, which you can change into any form, whether it is negative form or question, you can change it as a question, you can change it as auxiliary, and you can change it as interrogative, many forms. Now we will talk about kernel and derived sentences. Kernel sentences, basic simple sentence like John wrote a letter. The derived sentences produced after applying transformation, that is, was a letter written by John? So this is simple sentence and derived sentence from simple sentence. Now, significance of Chomsky's theory. Chomsky shifted attention from description to explanation, emphasized the creative nature of language, highlighted the role of the human mind, introduced universal grammar, made linguistics closely related to cognitive psychology. So thank you for watching this video. If this explanation has helped you understand this concept, please like the video, share it and subscribe to the channel for more IGNOU related literature and linguistic topics. Thank you.